Hello, everybody. I'm back again. It's Wednesday, February 17th at 11:08:22. And I'm so happy to be here with all of you again. I just feel like we're in the midst of such amazing times right now. And everything really is paradox. It's the word that's been coming up for me in a major way within the last 6 months. And it seems to be narrowing and narrowing, like condensing and condensing, bringing the paradox to its meeting point, to its 0 point, to the point where we realize that everything has its equal and opposite. And the gig has been that we taught ourselves to think that certain things are really bad and certain things are really good. And we go for the really good and we say horrible things about the bad, and then we created this environment. I have too much cleavage going on there. We created this environment around ourselves where, and I know we blame it on other people, and we blame it on the bad guys. We blame it on the Illuminati, and all of that, and that actually is our truth because that's how we created it to be. But anyway, so what we've done is we created an environment in which we spend way more time looking at what's wrong, talking about what's wrong with each other, and whipping up all kinds of information around the water cooler, so to speak. Hey, do you know about this story? And hey, do you know, how do you stand on that? What do you think, so-and-so ought to do about it? And are you going to vote for this person? Are you going to vote for that person? And oh, isn't that horrible? How can people be so horrible? To be able to do that kind of stuff and blah, 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 blah. This huge scenario of bad things happening, and we pay all kinds of attention to it. We kind of told ourselves that if we didn't, that we weren't being self-responsible. We weren't taking responsibility. We're supposed to hate on the things that that oppress people in the world, or people that we love. Sometimes I think we really don't care about certain types of people in certain situations. We look at what we're told to look at. That's the way it's been. We've been looking at things that we've been told to look at, and we've actually been told exactly how to think about them, how to feel about them, what to do about it, what to go buy. Let's fix that. Go buy something, like George Bush told us. George W. told us, when the towers crashed. He told us to go out and go shopping, because that cures all things. Because God knows this world needs more junk, so that we can throw it in heaps somewhere and pretend that they don't exist, right? Basically what I'm saying here, and that just kind of wraps it all up, because the truth is that everything around us that we've created in this throwaway society is strangling us. It literally is coming up so that we can't breathe, and we're going, what the fuck did we do? What were we thinking? Who do we pay attention to, and why? Why did we pay attention to them? Why did we listen? Because we weren't yet ready to take responsibility for ourselves. And that feels shitty to hear, doesn't it? Feels like a mother or a grandmother or a teacher or, a preacher saying, take responsibility for yourself, you little missy. But what it's really about is the ability to respond in a way that actually changes things for the better. So that's really what we've come to as a society now, as it's 11:13. Ooh, and it's about to be 11:14. All these numbers just mean so much to me. Anyway, you know, taking self-responsibility, learning to respond to life from a place of really deciding for yourself what matters, what's important. How are you going to decide inside of yourself about what matters and how that matters to you, and then what are you going to do about it? The ability to respond to something. The response always comes initially through the emotion, and then the thoughts come in from there. And then what we do with that creates what we experience in front of us. And we've gotten ourselves into a place where we had a perpetual set of disasters coming in from every side. And right now what we're seeing is all of those things that we've created and buried. And think about this. We actually stuff them inside of our bodies. And our bodies are merely representative, physically representative of, and really not even physically because it's holographic, so it's mentally and emotionally representative of the planet itself, which again is the same thing. But the planet is what we live on. The planet that is our bodies is what we live in. And what we see and we experience seemingly outside of ourselves is what is projected from how we perceive what it is that we respond to, how we choose to perceive. We can choose to not choose, and that's a choice all by itself. So we let somebody else take the reins and look at what you got. That usually doesn't work very well. Really, this whole journey is about learning to take responsibility for the self and moving in to the inner parts of self to be able to get the divine truth for yourself. Your divine truth is your divine truth. Somebody else's divine truth could be very different than yours. And theirs will create their reality, and yours will create your reality. You are a world unto yourself. If you put what's inside of this body that we've agreed to anyway, you put that under a microscope, an electron microscope, and then you put a telescope out into the night sky, or into the night sky, you're going to see the same exact picture. Neurons and systems outside, they all look alike because it is as above, so below, and as within, so without. There isn't this physical thing, except that we wanted to experience this, to actually be able to look at our mirror projection and play in that. Really is all it comes down to. This isn't some sinister game that people out there tend to tell you. And it is, it seems to be a fairly pervasive meme out there, is that the bad guys got it wrong, they messed up, they, did something terrible, and now we're suffering for it. And that does nothing for you other than to keep you in victim mode and take power outside of your own senses, outside of your own cognitive ability to realize that you are Creator's creation. Creating creation, and you're actually Creator. You created your creation to create more creation. You really are. And this is the time where you merge with you in a place that isn't outside, it's inside. It's that place where you go into self and you release all thought, You release the heaviness of what it feels like to be physical. Just through your mind, just allow yourself to just let it fly away in bits and pieces and lay there in the weightlessness of being. That's it. Just in the weightlessness of being. Lay there in that and you'll feel timeless. You'll feel nothing and everything. And when you open that space, when you allow that space to be your focus, you've opened up a trough or a vortex for divine nature, the information of the divine to come through you and give you what you want. It already knows what you want. You've been asking through everything that you hate, everything you dislike, everything you do like. If you're more conscious and you're actually asking on purpose, your divine you is inside of you and can't know anything but you. And it really is that on purpose. So it knows what you want and it will give it to you if you get out of its way. It being all that is, you asking to know, to re-merge with self again. That's what this thing called ascension is. It's the continual re-merging. And we're doing it every single day. Don't think you're not doing it. Everybody thinks it's just one jump and that's it. And there are points that are massive, massive points, I believe. But every single day, you're shifting your reality 1 billion trillion times by every thought you have. So every single thing you think, every single thing you do, every single focus you create, you shift your reality. You are re-merging new realities constantly. And so when you release old patternings of thought and you fall into that space of clarity, that space of 0 point, that space of pure balance, you can do that without laying down or sitting in posture or anything like that. You can literally get to a point where you can just quiet the mind, center yourself, and feel that space, and information comes in. And I will say that plant medicines do help do that. I really truly believe that it is that Gaia, ourselves as Gaia, the plan that we created to come here and play as separate than self, put on this playground these plant partners to assist us in knowing ourselves as one. And that has been taken out of our lexicon for quite a while. I hope that's the right word, lexicon. But it's been taken out of that for a long time and demonized, actually. And people still have a really, really difficult time getting past the propaganda that we were taught about what marijuana is. And what mushrooms, the psilocybin mushrooms are, and ayahuasca. All of these are incredibly important and powerful teachers for humanity. We actually have receptors in our bodies that show us that show us that we are meant to be in communion with the plants and animals. I mean, we do it with what we eat. Yet we've even been taught away from the realization that what we eat is medicine. We call it food, and then we put all kinds of plastics and stuff, and you know, and things that really were not meant to be ingested, to play other than, and you know, all of that. But it's time to come back to self now. It's time to come back to self-responsibility, to be able to respond to what's going on in the world around you with love, with the realization that you're actually speaking to you, and that whatever continues to come into your reality is only there because it's something that you are paying attention to consistently. Enough so that, or believing in, you know, even in your subconscious. If you're believing in it in your subconscious, yet on the outside you're saying, oh, I don't buy that anymore. Well, that's great. You cannot buy that anymore. But if your subconscious is still buying it, and I know this because I've been through it a million different times, and I'm still playing in that right now with certain issues, or I wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't be speaking in this way, because ascension would have happened, and well, here I go again, thinking that that's one big thing. But I do think that there's an event type of thing that will take us kind of over the top to a place where we'll be communicating in a very different space. And once that happens, all beings will be there with you, because all beings are you. So anyway, I think I'm not sure if I answered any of the questions. I started this and then just let it roll. So we'll see how it goes. I love you all. I am here to serve. I am here to serve my creation. You are me. I am you. Oh, here we go again. This is good. We are one and we are free. Whether we believe it yet or not, we are free, and we are soon to be proven that is true. Oh my God, the things, the amazements. I may have to make another video. I love you all. Mwah. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.